All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Rakha Kodesh. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. Now, as you can see in the title, fearful headlines, droughts and water police, diesel shortage, recession, food crisis, and layoffs. Okay, and I figured that as I go through, in the mornings when I go through these articles, I could just put them, pick out good ones and put them together, and Lord willing, just do, a video on them all. So it's likely I won't read through every single article, but I might hit certain parts of it. I might highlight the headline here. All right, just to show you, because I think that'll show um, a better picture, okay, of what's actually going on around the world. All right, so like yeah, it'll show a better picture of what's actually going on around the world on the different sects, right? So the first one here is water cops, right, or water police, as in California, right? They're talking about how basically the water is drying up over there. Okay, so now they need to cut back on um, water usage. All right, but you have residents and people that are not regarding that. So now they have to hire, as it says here, water cops. So it says California to hire water cops as residents ignore Newsom's conservation plea amid mega drought. Mega drought. Now it says here California plans to hire water cops to monitor people and businesses wasting water as statewide usage soared in March, despite Governor Gavin Newsom declaring a drought emergency last July and parts of Southern California under water restrictions, according to the Mercury News. So now they're saying, look, people are not regarding, all right, people are not regarding this, these policies we've set in place. All right, and I mean that's that's America for you. Okay, but they're saying, look, if we don't do something about this, it's going to get much worse, right? So you have here the Santa Clara Valley Water District, south of San Francisco Bay Area, um, encompassing 15 cities and more than 2 million residents, is considering water cops to police neighborhoods and businesses or business districts for water wasters. People who are wasting water could be fined up to $500. And it's like it's one calamity after the other, because here it is. Imagine inflation is hitting so much, you're struggling to make ends meet, and you get fined $500 because you're wasting water. And that's the thing. A lot of Americans, they're not aware of how much resources they actually use and waste. Okay, they don't. They don't conserve or measure or keep track of, these things, because it's so normal, right? Leave the tap on, leave the water running, whatever it is. Oh, leave the lights on, oh yeah, I forgot this, whatever. Went outside, left the AC on, came back, it was still on, and. But now that you have the energy shortages going on, water is drying up, these resources, which they're likely blaming climate change for, right? But these quote unquote resources, they're now starting to not look as unlimited as they might have before. All right. So because of that, they're now having to realize, look, I can't just use the same amount that I was before. Now, when it's completely gone, all right, when they completely just tell you, look, we don't got no more for you, man. Y'all didn't use it all. The shit is bad. Ain't no water to give you, right? At that point, people people are gonna start realizing, oh shoot, like they're gonna start realizing how much they used water for. Water is very essential, but you don't see it when there's an abundance of it, right? You wake up in the morning, you brush your teeth, right? That's using water. You take a shower using water. You use the bathroom, you flush the toilet using water, right? You make tea or whatever, you cooking, you using water. You washing dishes, you using water. You drinking water. So there's a lot of things that you use water for, and that's just a few things, right? But at the end of the day, when when you have it there, these things are just normal, right? You don't even worry about it. But once that water starts to wane and you don't have it, right? Sometimes they close the pipes, to work on it, and you realize, damn, I can't do shit. It's hard to do things because you realize, like everything that you use water for now becomes highlighted, and you realize, damn, man, this is very essential, right? But as it says here, you can be fined up to $500 if you were caught wasting water. It says water cops may slap citations for people watering their yards for long periods of time. All right. So they come by, they see you watering your yard. They come back an hour later, you still watering that. Hey, here you go. There's a 500. Next time, be more considerate. All right. It says and washing cars in the driveway. You come back, they car wash. Oh, here's a fine. Believe it or not, there you go. Right. It says Aaron Baker, the COO of Valley Water, told CBS News that water cops are needed because of the unprecedented times we're in. See? So there's an introduction of unconventional means because of the times that we are living in. That's becoming a more widespread terminology, right? We're living in unprecedented times, or we're in uncharted waters, or we've never seen these things before, or record highs. These are now the talks, and that's Jeremiah 30:7. That's Daniel 12:1. A time like never before. Okay, when you have a precedent is like how do I put this? Oh man, when you set a precedent for something, you basically do it, and now everything else that happens after that is based on this, right? If you set a precedent, it's almost like the first time you do something. Okay, so if it's unprecedented, that means that there's not something you can look back to, right, and compare this situation to. There is no previous precedent. There's no rule that was set. This is just open, uncharted waters. And the numbers are dropping again. Look at that. Beautiful, beautiful. There we go. Now it's back up, but it's gonna go down again. But anyway, it says here, needed because of the unprecedented times we are in, and because we aren't making enough progress in our water savings. The threat of water, the threat of water cops snooping on people comes as California's total water usage in March was the most since 2015, despite calls for conservation amid a mega drought. California Water Resource Control Board said water usage jumped 19% compared to March 2022. So now that you need to conserve water, that's when people are using it even more. They have, because they have pool parties and all these things and so on and so forth. Well, um, yeah, so that's pretty much what I want to read on here. But just going to show you now, real quick. Um, let's get a quick precept in the book of Isaiah. All right, Isaiah chapter 19, because it also speaks about this. A part of the burden of Egypt, because this America is the modern day Egypt. See, when you read the scriptures, it's not gonna, there's certain dark sayings, right? There's certain allegorical sayings. There's certain writings in the scriptures that you need the spirit to decipher, because you're not gonna see the word America in the Bible. But this America is spoken about in the scriptures. It's just not known or called America. All right. Guess what? Quote unquote black people, right, or African Americans and Latinos and Native Americans, they're spoken of in the Bible, but in the Bible you're not going to see Negro, black, like black people, or Hispanic or Latino. You're not going to see those terms in the Bible, but those people are spoken of in the Bible, right? So you got to use the context clues. Oh, it's talking about this. It's not. It's just not called that. Okay. Um, an example is language, right? You have some places you may go to, and they describe the same thing. Maybe it's food or an activity, and they describe the same thing, but they just call it something else. So you may go there and you may say, "Damn, do they have for example, like tacos, right?" But maybe over there they call it minas. I'm just making it up. Some random land you go to, they call it minas, right? So you go there and you're like, damn, I wonder if they have tacos over here. And you're saying tacos, and they're looking at you like, tacos, what's that? Right? So you're thinking, damn, tacos must not exist over here. But then, they might tell you, well, we don't have tacos, but we have minas. And you say, what's that? But then they describe it to you, you get the shell, and you put this in there, you put this in there, you put it together, and they show it to you, and you're like, oh, that's a taco. And they're like, no, minas. No taco, minas. Right? So in essence, it's still the same thing, it's just referred to differently. So the point that I'm making is, when you read the Bible, America is spoken of in here. What is going to happen to it, the creation of it, what is going to be set up to do, how it's going to fall. That's all written in here. But just like the tacos and the minas example, it's not referred to as America in the Bible. So when you read about it, sometimes it's referred to as Egypt, or the daughter of Babylon, or Assyria, or Nineveh, right? And when you read it, you're like, oh, okay, it's referred to as this, but it's really describing America. So Isaiah 19:1, it says the burden of Egypt, but in Isaiah 19, this Egypt is talking about America. Okay, so it says, behold, the Lord rideth upon a swift cloud, which are the chariots, and shall come into Egypt, and the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence, and the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it. Yeah, because we're approaching that time. This Revelation 1 and 7, Second Ezra 13, okay, amongst other scriptures, Zechariah 5, I believe, it goes into the Lord coming on a chariot, right, with the angels, and they're gonna come to this place, America, the house of the thief, and they're gonna destroy it and consume it with the foundations thereof. It says, oh, and it says what? The heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it. And that's starting to happen now, right? The spirit, the mindset, that pride, all of that is starting to humble down, and people are starting to become afraid because of the fearful headlines. And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and that's what you see brewing. All right. Every time there's a controversy, there's always one side on saying one thing and another side saying another thing. You have Roe v. Wade, right? Now, just yesterday they said that the Senate shut down the Democrats' push to try and make abortion legal in the U.S. There's always one side. So there are people saying, they're pro. Thank God for abortions. That's stupid shit. And then you got others on the other side saying no. That's going off. You can't do that. So just like that's just one matter, basically the Lord is setting up that civil war, that one side against another, one people standing up against another, and that's written of in Second Ezra the 15th chapter, and many other scriptures. Okay, and we're seeing it more and more evident. And the thing about it is, it becomes more dangerous when times are more desperate. Okay, because when times are more desperate, people are not protests become riots. Okay, violence is just like that. It's because when it's chill times, they'll be like, "Oh, it's not that serious." But when it's not, people are hungry and all. Then it is that serious. It says, "And they shall fight everyone against his brother, and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom." That's division. That's civil war. That's class wars. That's race wars. And the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof, and they shall seek to the idols. Because this country, right, that people don't want to believe, it was built and founded on witchcraft, right, on masonry, on secret societies. And they run this country, all right, based on those spirits. They have seances and councils and holy days, right, on their end, that they perform seances, all right, and conjure up spirits, and they counsel with them, all right. And it's not far-fetched, because when you read in the book of Acts, there was a when Paul and I believe it was Silas, I forget exactly where they were, but I know it was somewhere in Europe, right, somewhere in maybe around Greece area or so, where they encountered this woman that had a spirit on her, and she kept following them. I believe she had a familiar spirit or so, but she kept following them, saying, "These are the men of God. These are the men of God. These are them." And Paul got vexed after a couple of days of her repeatedly doing that, so he rebuked that spirit that was in her out of her. Now, the point that I'm making is that the spirit that was in her was benefiting her masters, because they would basically find out, okay, what, like, if they were to bet or anything like that, they will find out, all right, what is the outcome going to be, so we know what to place our bets on. So they were using that familiar spirit that was within the woman to for their gain, for counsel, and all right, what should I do here, what should I do here, because it says that it brought them much gain. So how much more for these devils that built their society on that? Signs, all right, all sorts of different levels of witchcraft. Okay, so they have spirits that they counsel with in terms of what to do, how to go about it, what kind of sacrifices are required, and they do that. It's no surprise. There's symbolism everywhere. There was a picture that I saw of the Travis Scott. Um, it's like a head, Travis Scott's head, and his mouth is open. Now, on one of his albums, I think Astro World or something like that, when you look at the cover picture, there are two kids on the front. Matter of fact, why am I just talking? Let me pull it up. Travis Scott, Astro World, not tragedy. Cover art. There we go. This one right here. Right. Boom. So now what you notice in here, right, and this is that you got the kids on here, and you got this image, and you got his mouth open. And then you got the kids being taken in there. All right. Now there was another picture, I forgot where I saw. I think it was the Elder Yashawamba who put it. It was like a ancient world picture of a sacrifice, where they would like the mouth of I forgot what creature it was, but it would look just like this. It had its mouth open, and they would go in there, and I think they would perform like a fire sacrifice or so, but they would sacrifice their children into the mouth, which is sort of to be like a furnace or so, right? And they would sacrifice the children in there by taking them in there, and sacrificing them onto, I think it was Moloch, So it's interesting that you notice in here, you see children, right? And then you see the mothers taking the children in there. And on the outer, you thinking, oh, look, it's just a cool art or whatever. But there's symbolism behind it all. Behind all of it, there's symbolism. And it's not just this, it's many, many other things. When you look at the way the buildings are designed, all right, all of it centers on witchcraft and sorceries. So they're going to seek to their idols. They're going to seek to those spirits that they counsel with as things start going bad. Because these at least they want things to go bad, but the Lord is going to have it get out of their hands. And they're going to be seeking how to get control of it again, but it's gonna be out of their hands. That's why the scriptures say the powers of heaven shall be shaken. And there's going to be an evil that riseth, and thou shalt not know from whence it riseth. It says, the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof. So they're going to find out that they're not, their plans are going to start failing, and they're not going to be able to have backups or alternatives. And they shall seek to the idols and to the charmers, see, and to them that have familiar spirits, and to the wizards. And the Egyptians will I give over into the hand of a cruel Lord, and that's Yahushai, because he's gonna he's gonna rule them with fierceness. It says, and they fierce. The scriptures talk about how we're gonna break them as a potter's vessel, and a fierce king shall rule over them, saith the Lord of hosts. Now here's the point: and the waters shall fail from the sea, and the river shall be wasted and dried up. Okay, what do you have? Now they got to get water cops because of a mega drought. See? So all of these are covered in the scriptures. So it says what? And the waters shall fail from the sea, and the river shall be wasted and dried up. And they shall turn the rivers far away, and the brooks of defense shall be emptied and dried up, and the reeds and flags shall wither. See? And that's what you see going on. And when you keep on reading through the chapter, it basically goes into the hardships that are going to be hitting this place. And now we're seeing that. We're seeing these prophecies loud and clear, and they're speaking and they're speaking. And those of us that are aware of what the prophecies are, we understand, wow, this is this is exact biblical prophecy. We can check it off, right? And on the prophetic checklist. Okay, there's another precept I wanted to get in the Apocrypha. I believe it's Second Ezra, the 6th chapter, because Second Ezra, the 6th chapter, also talks about the things going on now. It talks about there you go, the shortages. Okay, no food. It talks about the droughts. Let's get that. Second Ezra chapter 6, verse 22. And suddenly, you hear that? Suddenly. So when something happens suddenly, you don't really have time to prepare for it. And suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown, the full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. You see? And what do the storehouses store? They store food. And at one point they were full, but now you're starting to see that they're waning and they're not being replenished. And the trumpet shall give a sound which when every man heareth, they shall be suddenly afraid. And as things get more dire, you will be hearing that. You're gonna hear the emergency broadcast system. You're gonna be hearing these sirens going off. But at some point, those sirens are gonna stop. It's gonna get so bad out here. When you hear sirens, that means that there are people in the car operating it. But when it gets so bad and you stop hearing the sirens, that's a sign to you that ain't nobody doing that job anymore. Whether it's police cars or it's first responders, if you stop hearing those sounds, that means ain't nobody doing it. Nobody's responding. You think their family's in danger, but they're responding to you over there in some far next city somewhere? No. Right? Verse 24, and at that time shall friends fight one against another like enemies, because you're going to have the division, but you're also going to have the hard times, desperate times. And it's going to turn people on each other. and the earth shall stand in fear. The key part is the earth. So there's going to be fear all over the earth, not just in one place, but all over the planet. It says, with those that dwell therein, because they're going to see the wrath of the Most High. The springs of the fountains shall stand still, and in 3 hours they shall not run, which is going into those droughts, those water shortages, those mega droughts as we're reading. And this and you're going to find out very soon how essential water is. Okay? Water is a need. But anyway, now let me actually put this article in the chat. All right, so let's move on to the next one. So we read a bit about the mega droughts and the water police. Now look at this. Diesel price spike at biblical proportions. And you notice that's being used more commonly. Famines of biblical proportions. Why is it all biblical? Because everybody knows that in their mind, in the Bible, there's somewhere in the Bible that talks about these things. Nobody really wants to acknowledge it. But now, why is the terminology biblical proportions? What does that mean? They know that means that this is something that's, they have stages, and then one of the highest stages is the hand of God, which means this is something it's not a normal occurrence. Well, that leads us to the next article. Major trucking firms prepare for imminent diesel shortage in eastern half of U.S. Now, let's get one thing straight. Your stores, when they have products in the stores, there's a way the products get to the stores, and it's by these trucks. When you go on these long paths, these interstate roads, and so on and so forth, you see a lot of trucks because there are trucks going from state to state, and they're delivering goods. Some of them have a design of what it is they're delivering on it, a logo or whatnot. Some of them just look like containers. And when they get to their location, you got the people that come out with the hand trucks, and then they start unloading. You see this in your neighborhoods, but it's like common. So you don't really take note, right? You go to the store, and sometimes there's the truck, and they're unloading it and taking the things into the store. The trucks run on diesel. That is how they get from one place to another, just like your car runs on gas. So when you're facing diesel shortages, that's going to make things harder for these trucks to go from one place to another. And when that happens, and that starts to cut down on the movement of the goods by these trucks, that means that the goods in your stores are going to start being less. And it's going to be harder to restock with the little bit that they have left to restock. It's going to be harder to do that in these stores because it's harder to get to these stores with these goods. So everything has it's like a domino effect. One thing affects the other, which affects the other, which affects the other. Now it says major trucking firms prepare for imminent. The word imminent means there's no time to waste. Okay, imminent, pressing diesel shortage in eastern half of U.S. So in the western half, you have mega droughts, water police, and then on the eastern half, you're having diesel shortages. All throughout, you're having gas prices hit new records. If you can't see that we're living in a time, all right, that's getting progressively worse, that is really leading to that ultimate chaos that you've never seen before. If you can't see that, and you still got your head in this world as if there's something here for you, then I don't even know what to tell you. Major trucking fleets across the eastern half of the U.S. are preparing for an imminent diesel shortage, according to logistics firm FreightWaves. Founder and CEO of FreightWaves, Craig Fuller, said 3 large fleets are preparing for diesel pumps at fuel stations to run dry. Drivers of these fleets received notifications about fuel shortages that could materialize in the coming weeks across the mid-Atlantic and Northeast regions. Major truck stop chains, Loves and Pilot, warning about imminent diesel shortages in the eastern half of the U.S. You have here an image of one of the messages that they received. It says, "It's about to get uglier. Good morning. Effective immediately. Make sure you're fueling up at the end of the day." I cut in, I guess I should say paste, a message from Loves where many of you fuel currently. The message is as follows. Dear fleet customers, due to historically low supply, diesel availability in the eastern US market is currently limited. Your drivers could start to see the effects of these supply issues in the coming days. Okay? In the coming days. Another one. It says, attention to all drivers, hearing from Loves that they expect diesel shortages to hit some of their eastern US stores in the coming week. We'll do our best to keep an eye on the situation and remove stores, I guess I should say, from fuel solutions as we hear about challenges at specific stores. Okay? And all this is going to have an effect. So now you're starting to see that. All right, this is the continuation of that. Now you're starting to see that, yo, there's trouble on all fronts. And it's only gonna get worse, man. That's what's gonna make Jacob's trouble so much worse, because it's not just one disaster on a super high level that you have to deal with. It's multiple disasters at once. Okay, one disaster alone is enough to trouble, the country or the society. But now you're trying to deal with one thing on a historically high level, but then another thing, and then another thing, and then another thing, all of these all at once. It's going to overwhelm people. And trust me, this is going to get out of hand very quickly. And it's going to get very, very bad because they can't keep a lid on it. It's like the warning signs are just popping up, pop, 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 pop. Now it says here, now continuing, it says challenges at specific stores. In the meantime, it would probably be good habit to fuel prior to entering the following areas: GA, NC, SC, VA, MD, PA, New York, or NY, and NJ, New Jersey. Loves is working on moving and positioning additional resources to help counter shortages in these areas. This situation is fluid. All right. Says here, we've confirmed with a number of fleets they are hearing consistent messages from the stops. Georgia, Carolinas, Maryland, and Pennsylvania were the specific areas that could be impacted. We heard that as many as 25% of their retail locations could see shortages in the East. Now it says here, Northeast may run so low on fuel within the next week or two that stations in the entire region could go to allocations, and pockets of the northern east or northeast may be completely out of fuel. Problem is, oil is being diverted, not imported, between here and Europe due to the US committing to feed Europe with fuel so that it can wean off Russian fuel. And we said that. We said that once they said, okay, we're going to basically shut out Russia. Well, a lot of these Europe is not just one country in Europe. Okay, it's a big ass continent with different countries that were relying on that fuel, that gas. So if you say don't get it from Russia, then they say, well, where should we get it from? Then you say, okay, I'll supply it to you. What do you think is going to happen? Let me give you an example. I tell you, look, don't go to the supermarket anymore, right? Don't go to any other supermarket. Don't go get no food over there. They say, okay, well, how are we going to eat? Oh, I'll supply you with some of my food. What then happens to me and those that are living with me? Our supply becomes less and less because we have to start giving some of that out to these people. We said that they shouldn't buy food because we'll give them food. So eventually, if I have 2 cans. Now I'm left with 1 because I got to give 1 to somebody else. See? So now in my house, there's now a shortage of things. The squeeze is getting tighter. And the thing is, we don't have an unlimited supply of these things. So now we got to start thinking, okay, as things start getting tighter, we can't keep this up for long before we end up in trouble. It says the problem, keep going. It says, yada, yada, yada. This will affect gas and diesel. The South, and now we're approaching the summer. You know what happens in the summer? People like to travel. They like to go out. They like to go road trips and go here and go. You better start reconsidering. This will ACs, right, for energy. The air conditions are on, you know. and one stupid ass thing they like to do is they like to open the fire hydrants and just let the water. Man, sometimes I'll be walking by and I'm looking and I'm seeing just a waste of water. The fire hydrant is open and you got people just sitting there and it's just going. You know, and I'm thinking in my head, what in the world is wrong with these people, man? You know, what's wrong with these people? You just wasting water like that, like it's all good. So, I mean, well, in California, you try that shit, they're gonna hit you with a nice fine. No time wasted. So it says the Southeast will likely be fine due to pipeline, but the diversion is most happening to fuel typically bound for Northeast states. Could last through the summer unless U.S. pulls back from supporting fuel needs of Europe. But that's a problem. So now you're like bound, you're tied in this supply to Europe because now once they've gotten off of Russia, they're heavily depending on you. So that's another thing dealing with the trucks. Now, moving on, you have U.S. consumer prices spike even worse than expected. Okay, you had the droughts in the water police, the diesel shortage, and now you got the recession part. And it says inflation remains at the highest levels in 40 years as the Biden administration admits some culpability. And there's a trend, right, where in ancient, even in Rome, when they didn't take care, things got out of hand, inflation got into hyperinflation, they started to take measures that they could use to try and curb the inflation, but that only made things worse. And history and throughout history, countries just repeat that, repeat that, repeat that to no success. Now, don't be surprised. The problem, reaction, solution, right? They use that all the time. So what we're seeing now are the problems. Clearly, the reactions become desperation. So don't be surprised when they start to push NWO agendas as a solution. Hey, look at how inflation is going up. Hey, look at how all these calamities are hitting. You know, we need to start jumping onto the digital side of things. We need to start cutting down on the natural foods and jumping onto synthetic meats. We need to start cutting down on that energy and moving to this. They're going to start doing that because this is how they present the NWO. It always comes as a solution to a solution to a problem. Because who doesn't like solutions to problems, right? Nobody likes problems. Everybody wants a solution. See? So if I can make my solution seem like the only plausible solution, then I sort of leave you with no choice, right? You're either stuck and deal with the problem and the suffering, which is going to get worse, or you come to my solution. So when Biden comes out here and says, my main thing is to handle inflation and yada yada yada, that means that they have a plan, which is really an agenda they've had for years, but now they're getting ready to say, let me introduce this to you. Allow me to reintroduce myself. Okay. Now with this article, I'm not really going to read too much into it. It's just information we sort of already know, but I wanted to show that this is common in the headlines. All right, common in the headlines. That's right. Order out of chaos. U.S. consumer prices spike even worse than expected. A lot of people don't understand that you are consumers. You consume. Okay, so let me put these two other articles in the chat. All right, so this is here now, and let's put this one from RT also in the chat. And we telling you, man, we telling you, these warnings, these things are real, man. Articles are real. They're based on real events. Now the next one is Britain's facing real food poverty. Supermarket giant warns. Uh-huh. It says the chairman of let's see, yep. The chairman of major British supermarket Tesco, John Allen, said that many in the country are struggling with the increasing cost of food and fuel due to inflation, as quoted by the Times on Tuesday. I was in some Tesco stores on Friday, and I was hearing for the first time for many years of customers saying to checkout staff, stop when you hit 40. And that's like here, right? If you went and you said, uh, 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 once you hit $40, just stop. Don't add anything else, right? I don't want to spend a penny over that. You're like, whoa, damn, 40? That's it though? Because that's how hard it is. They can't afford, like I said, it's like going to like Stop and Shop and you hear him say, no, if it whatever it is, if it's past $40, just what, it's fine, I'll leave it. I can't afford to spend over that because I need to do some serious budgeting. If I go over that, then I'm not gonna have enough to pay for whatever medical bills, utility bills, housing. I'm not gonna be phone bill. I'm not gonna be able to take care of that. This is very interesting. You got you got you got these people over here talking about this demic is not over, right? And we all know what they mean by that. They're getting ready to come with some more BS. Now you have Biden, right? That had two notifications. You have Biden, who literally just came out and said this demic isn't over. Then you have Scholes, which I believe he's either like a president or prime minister or somebody in some high position somewhere, maybe Germany or so. He also comes out and says this demic is not over. So there's this unified message being sent out there, right? Of I guess they're foreshadowing something else that they're finna bring out. That's the thing with these devils. It's never over. It's always something, and that's why the scriptures say that what their heart is deep. Okay, but back to the article, it says, I think that many of them are struggling to both be able to heat their homes and to feed their families. He continued, and I think we are seeing, real food poverty for the first time in a generation. And now you're starting to see that countries that would not be considered third world countries are facing third world problems. People who had so much in abundance that they they'll go to bed with a big stomach so much that their stomach is so big they can't move. Now they actually have to fathom the reality of actually going to bed without eating, and not on a fast or not on a personal choice, but because you don't have food. You're hungry, but they ain't nothing there for you to eat. Now you gotta go to bed without eating. These are the realities, man. People need to set their priorities and their perspective right, because that mindset of I want to make it in this society. I want to do good. I want success, status, rank. It's not gonna matter at all. Okay, it's not gonna matter. Matter of fact, let's get Proverbs 11:4. It's not gonna matter. It says here, riches profit not in the day of wrath. And we are in the day of wrath. We're in that time. That's why these calamities are happening. So if you were a doctor or a lawyer or a nurse or an engineer or a president, it doesn't matter what you were. That's not going to profit you when all hell is breaking loose. Guess what? LeBron James, when all hell is breaking loose, people are not going to say, look, I see this man, he got all this food in his cart, but that's LeBron. Let's let him go. No, 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 no. Your stomach is gonna turn your ass around. Like, listen, my man. Don't even test me right now. It's been 3 days. I haven't eaten. You got a wife and kids that are starving. You talking about it's LeBron? Let's let him go. They're not gonna care. They gonna rob his ass. They go, I'm LeBron. So what? I'm hungry. So your status, your rank, your money will not do anything for you in that time. Your money, you cannot pay off a disease so the disease leaves you alone. You cannot pay off famine. You may have money, but if there's no food, what are you buying? Are you going to eat the money? Are you going to eat the paper? Are you going to eat the fiat FRNs in your account? Are you going to eat your phone? See, people are going to start realizing that your reality don't play. But it says what? But righteousness delivereth from death. See? And that's what we are accumulating. As these people are accumulating riches that don't profit them, we are, Lord willing, accumulating righteousness, righteous riches, those that will deliver you from death. The Lord is not going to look at your resume and say, oh, wow, damn, you worked over, oh, shit, Google. Oh, my gosh. All right, okay. Feed them. No. Those that are going to be fed, those that are going to be taken care of, is going to be based on those that serve the Lord. Did you do the thing that was pleasing to the Lord? Pull up his spiritual bank account. How much he got in there? Oh, he in the negatives? Shit. I'm not just not gonna give you food. I might need to starve you out because you in the negatives. And that's why it's crucial that we continue to remain diligent and do the look. Right now, man, there's no excuse. Right now, you're seeing the things going on. This is telling you, yo, yo, like what I'm doing is right. Because all the things that the scriptures say are happening. They're happening now. So I'm glad that I at least have some direction to go in. I know what I have to do. I know the things that are pleasing to the Lord. I know what he requires. I know he said, well, if you do this, then I got your back. So if I'm already doing it, I'm going to keep doing it. I'm going to go harder. Because happy are we, not only do we know what we have to do to, Lord willing, escape these things, but we believe it. You have others that know, but they don't care. But we know and we care. So we can actually make progress towards, Lord willing, gaining mercy in these times. And that's a valuable, valuable thing. That's right. Yahweh's warrior, Shalom, depositing in our spiritual bank account. That's it. That's what we're doing. Because you don't know how much you're going to need to withdraw. But the one thing you don't want is to come short when you need it. So what do? You just keep on throwing that deposits in there, man. You rather have, there's a saying that it's better to have and not need than to need and not have. And as they say, failing to prepare is preparing to fail. See? So it says here, the Tesco boss expressed hopes that the government would step in to reduce the strain on those struggling to meet ends meet. What happened whenever the government steps in? They get more control. Even in the time of Egypt, Joseph was in charge of the government. And when they stepped in, they basically got control over all the Egyptians. Once these people step in, you say, look, let's just give everything to them so they can just, distribute it accordingly, ration it. When you start hearing those terms, look out. Rations controlled by the government, that's a problem because now when it's controlled by the government and it's centralized, they can now place a standardized requirement. Oh well, we're giving it out, but just like they give out I don't know, unemployment or whatever, there's certain requirements you have to meet to qualify to get whatever it is they're giving out. So now you done giving them all the food. They have this power, and they're telling you we only giving this to those that took the Vanessa, or those that are trying to take this CHIP. That's the only ones we're giving this to. Says Allen suggested that the government could reverse course on a planned payroll tax hike. He also called for reforming rates relief, saying that many smaller shops faced going out of business as consumers cut back on spending. And that's another problem, is that say you have a Netflix account, you have a gym membership, I don't know, yoga classes. At some point, when things get hard, you prioritize. You can't afford Netflix. Netflix is not a necessity. So you cancel your Netflix membership. You're not the only one thinking that. Hundreds of thousands of others are also doing that. What happens to Netflix? They start losing money. Netflix is a big corporation. In order to maintain their business, they need you to subscribe. If you're not subscribing, they're losing money. It gets to the point where they can't, it's too expensive to maintain their business. They go out of business. That's just an example. You got another a gym, for example. People are like, my man, I don't have time to go to the gym. I'm trying to survive. So you cancel your gym membership because it's not essential. It's not crucial to your survival. You're not the only one thinking that. Everybody else is thinking that. Everybody else does that. What happens to the gym? When the gym can't get money because people are not signing up and people are canceling their membership, the gym cannot pay their employers or their employees, those that work at the gym. And what does that lead to? The next article, which I have here, which is the last one, layoffs. People start losing their jobs. If you work in these small businesses or these businesses that are not like essential, once they start, once people start canceling and taking their money away from those places because they need to buy food and pay for rent and so on and so forth, these businesses don't have money to pay you. That means you are out of a job because they need to cut you from the payroll before they file for bankruptcy. Once again, you see how inflation or just one thing is a domino effect. Prices go up, people reduce the things they're putting their money into. Those corporations that depend on those people's money, they start losing money. So now they start firing people, and then boom. See? So it says here, this month the Bank of England issued a dire warning, saying that Britons would suffer a historic shock to their incomes as it expects the record high inflation to continue rising. Ain't no good news. The central bank also said that the cost of living crisis could plunge the economy into recession this year. You hear that? So there you go. Fearful headlines. All right, so now let's deal with this last one here, which is the growing list of US companies laying people off. Now, you're seeing how all these problems, think about it, right? If you have a lot of people being laid off, unemployment, all of these things, what is it one way to solve that? A UBI, right? Let's first off, this system is crumbling, right? But to save it, in order to get things back on track, fix the economy and all of that, well, we have to ditch the dollar and jump to the digital dollar. And we need to now, with all these unemployed people, we need to now have a system to help them. Why not have a universal basic income that can support these people? See, you had the stimulus checks, which was like a demo, right, or a little taste of that, and they can say, yeah, it'll be a little something like that. Now it says, as the economy continues to grind to a halt, the scriptures talk about the grinding shall cease, and inflation continues to run rampant. U.S. businesses are starting. Oh, Salaki, let me actually put this article also in the chat for those that would like access to it. All right. So it says here, U.S. businesses are starting to realize the obvious, that they are stretched too thin financially and are starting to cut unnecessary fat from their respective organizations. So much for building back better. In fact, layoffs are now sweeping across American businesses. According to a new report from Insider, who recently ran down a list of US companies that have begun hacking away at their respective labor forces. So it's going to show the different companies. In addition to the names you'd expect to be on this list, like Peloton, which has laid off 2,800 people. Yo, there was a video of a company, I forget which one it was, who laid off their employees via Zoom call. Literally, they just went on a Zoom meeting, and anybody that was on that meeting, they told them, look, we can't afford to keep you guys here. So that's pretty much it. You're done. Now, imagine hard times. Maybe you're the only one working in your family, and Unexpectedly, you got bills coming up, right? Unexpectedly, you get called into a meeting and they just tell you it's not your performance, it's just it can't be helped. We're dropping you from the company. Just like that. Suddenly. No notice, no nothing. You're gone. You're fired. You don't have a job. Yesterday you had a job. Today you don't have a job. And you got a family to take care of. And inflation is happening. Food crisis. Prices of everything are going up. A lot of people are not going to be able to mentally handle these things, these tolls that are going to be hitting them. See, and that's why Isaiah 33:6 says what? And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times. These people are not going to have that, so they are going to lose it. They're going to bug out. They're going to jump into them savings, but as hyperinflation sets in, your money's going to go quicker. Okay, your money's going to go quicker because the value is going to be dropping at a faster rate. $10,000 in your account, it's not going to hold you that long. And as people start hitting that desperation level, they're going to start doing desperate things. It says, in Netflix, there were also some lesser known and private company names that are making material layoffs. Better has been laying off 4,000 people from late 2021 and through the first several months of 2022. They've been laying these people off. It says CEO Vishal Garg reportedly told employees during a Zoom meeting that the company has lost $100 million last quarter. Shit. Which he said was my mistake. He didn't lay himself off, however, to the best of our understanding. Weight loss. So because of him, right? Because of him. Hey, that's right. That's right. But because of him, the company lost $100 million last quarter. They're losing money. They can't keep employees. We got to lay you off. My fault. Damn, man. Hard times, man. Hard times. So it says here, and the reason it's going to hit people hard is because in their minds, they don't have anywhere else to turn. But we have Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. See? So we can always call on the Lord and we don't have to worry about not knowing of another way. Like we don't, if you get laid off or there ain't no food, we can have, we can pray to the Lord, but we know that anything is possible with the Lord. So we don't have to worry about thinking up a intricate strategy. Damn, how do I damn, so ain't no food. Like how do we gotta sneak in here and steal this and kill this person? We don't gotta worry about that. All we gotta do is pray to the Lord, have faith, and let him work. So we know we have that security in the Lord. But these people don't have that. And it's not like they can just gain that. It's not like you just turn around and say, all right, I'm just going to call on the Lord now and everything is going to be good. No. What have you done for the Lord? What did you even open a bank account? See? But we are storing our treasures in heaven. We know that we're going to need the Heavenly Father and his Son in these times. So that's why what we're doing now is building that relationship with him. Okay? And serving them, doing what they require of us now, because we know we're going to need their help. All right, we're going to rely on Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. So we need to do the things that they require now. Because you don't want to end up as one of those in Proverbs, the first chapter, who the Lord called and you didn't listen. Now you calling and he's not listening. But once again, these people are not going to have that fallback. They're not going to have that security. So in their mind, they're going to be, well, life is over. I'm screwed. It says weight loss app Noom has recently laid off hundreds of coaches as part of a total laying off 495 people. Yeah, typically those whose jobs are not like food, shelter, health, emergency, the heavy jobs, those are usually the first to go. People whose jobs are more in luxury, like things that are not necessities, once again, those are the first to go. Because those are the first that are going to be cut off. It says, the report says, Noom appeared to already be stretching thin, with coaches reportedly responsible for giving advice to hundreds of users at any given time. Then you had Thrasio, right, has laid off 20% of his staff. You had Robinhood, which joined the party, laying off more than 300 people. Okay. It says their layoffs come after the company staff grew from just 700 people to 3,800 people during 2020 and 2021. Okay, you have Wells Fargo, which is also making layoffs in its mortgage-related positions. You have a pot company, Canopy Growth, is also laying off employees with 250 people expected to get the axe. Now, this is scary news for people, right? You have a celebrity video app, Cameo, laying off 87 people. So, as you can see, fearful headlines. There's definitely a squeeze, okay, upon the world and the inhabitants of the world, man. And evil. It's like every time you read that, and now people don't even want to read the news. They don't want to turn on the TV. They don't want to hear about it. But they think that hiding from it is gonna make it go away. It's not, honestly. That's like here it is. There's a demon, right? A demon just pops up on you and you in your room and you see the demon and you say, "Oh no, it's too scary." So you put your hand on your face and you just stay like that. So just because you can't see the demon, you think the demon can't see you, or he can't touch you. So just because you don't pay attention to the information and the news coming, it's just gonna make it disappear. This ain't Tinkerbell. This ain't fairy tales. The less you believe in it, the less it exists. No, 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 no. It's gonna make you a believer. Nah, I don't believe what y'all saying. That's all right. Yeah. What we're saying doesn't depend on your belief, right? For what if some did not believe? Now, this is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 21, verse 8. It says, "Again, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, prophesy and say, Thus saith the Lord, say a sword is sharpened and also furbished." And that's what we see going on. All right. And that's what we are doing. We're telling them this is what the Lord is saying. It is sharpened that to make a sore slaughter. It is furbished that it may glitter. Should we then make mirth? You got people that are still joking around now like it's a time to be playing. It contemneth the rod of my son as every tree, and he hath given it to be furbished, that it may be handled. So not only is the sword being sharpened, it's being sharpened to be used. See? So the waters, the droughts, the diesel shortages, inflation, food crisis, layoffs, all these things that are happening, the pestilence, they're not coming up for show, right? For you to look around and look at them. They're being sharpened. They're being made worse so they can take effect on the people. Okay. It says, "The sword is sharpened and it is furbished to give it into the hand of the slayer." Okay, to give it into the hand of the slayer. So we're not in the time to be playing games. Cry and howl, son of man, for it shall be upon my people. It shall be upon all the princes of Israel. Terrors by reason of the sword shall be upon my people. Smite therefore upon thy thigh. See? So these terrors, man, these terrors. Oh, this is let me actually hold on a second. Yeah, that was it on this precept. So let me actually get a few off the comment board. This is Yahweh my power Israel. I drive trucks here in PA. They just laid off all drivers with under a year. And I don't think they're done yet. Yep, there you go. See? Just like that. So so now what the drivers gonna do? Man, this is whoo, man, I'm telling you. Boy, I tell you. That's right. This is I will a war 144K, 2nd Ezra 16 and 73. Then shall they be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as the gold in the fire. Con. Yeah, because the Lord is going to make sure that his chosen are delivered. They're taken care of when these things come. And in that time, I'm telling you, man, in that time, see, we're warning these people, right? Yo, take this path. See, no, I'll do what I want to do. Nah, 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 I don't want to hear it. No, I want to do what I want to do. Even though we're pointing to the signs, look, this is why we're telling you to come here. No, I don't want to see it. No, you just want to convince me. No, I ain't trying to do it. So guess what happens? They follow their own vain opinion. They follow what's right in their minds. We're not following just what's right in our minds. We're following the scriptures. We have a map and a direction. But they say they want to do what they want to do. Guess what? They go, it fails, it backfires, it hits them with calamities, and then they come back and they see you and the path you took, and they see that you're good in these hard times. You're taken care of. What do you think they want to do then? They want to now be associated with you. Now they want to take the journey with you. Now they want to listen to what you got to say. Now they want to do that, but you can't do both. When you decided you wanted to take the other path, you got to stay there and deal with those calamities. We're the watchmen. We knew what that path was going to lead down. That's why we told you not to go there. No, 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 I'm going to do it anyway. All right. Verse 74, Hear, O ye my beloved, saith the Lord, behold, the days of trouble are at hand, but I will deliver you from the same. That's all you need to know. I don't understand. Like, it's so simple, right? The Lord made it so simple for us that all he said was, look, I got your back. Like, I'm not asking you to run up a mountain. I'm not asking you to go and gather up a whole supermarket worth of food. I'm not asking you to pay me $2 million. Just do the things that I do ask, and don't worry. Second Ezra 16:74. Hear, O ye my beloved. Are you gonna go stop the famine? You're not. You don't got power over that. Behold, the days of trouble are at hand, but I will deliver you from the same. The Lord said, look, I got you. Yeah, trouble is coming, but don't worry, I already got you, man. That's it. Verse 75, be ye not afraid, neither doubt, for the Most High is your guide. Verse 76, and the guide of them who keep my commandments and precepts, saith the Lord, let not your sins weigh you down, and let not your iniquities lift up themselves. See, so just have that faith in Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai that you're going to be good. All right, this is Yahweh's warrior, Ecclesiasticus 2:6. Believe in him, and he will help thee. Order thy way aright and trust in him. And now it's more practical to believe in the Lord because we've been serving the Lord for so long. See, when you come to serve the Lord, it's not a one-day thing. You don't just boom, I just jumped in. I'm here, and I understand all the intricacies. My faith is on this level. You have to go through experiences. You have to be tried out. So your belief in the Lord gets solidified, and the Lord has tested you, and He knows He can trust you. See, so believing in Him is not just as simple as saying I believe in Him. Belief is something. Is a feel. It's I don't even know how to describe it, but it's something. And it doesn't just come overnight. So you gotta be in this truth, serving the Lord, and that's how your experience builds up your faith in Him, and He will help thee. Order thy way aright and trust in Him. Ye that fear the Lord, wait for His mercy. See, and go not aside lest ye fall. So you got to wait for the mercy of the Lord. Don't get all impatient and but things are looking bad and Lord ain't done nothing yet, and I'm just gonna have to do it. It says, go not aside, lest ye fall. Okay, have patience and wait upon the Lord, because once you lose patience, you start going out here doing this, jumping here, Most High is gonna get your ass. All right. This is a Big Nez, Psalms 118:6. The Lord Yahweh is on my side; I will not fear. What can man do unto me? If you know the Lord is bringing the calamities, and then He says, "I got you," you know what I'm saying? What you gotta? What are you worried about? Okay, this is a warrior Allah Yahweh, Psalms 37:25. I have been young, and now am old, yet have I not seen the righteous forsaken. This is why the scriptures say, "But righteousness delivereth from death." Because if you are righteous, if you are the Lord's elect, if you are of sincere heart and serving the Lord, He will never forsake you. It says, nor his seed begging bread. He is ever merciful and lendeth, and his seed is blessed. So we can count on that. All right, we can count on Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai to deliver us in these times. All right. But that's it for the lesson. Lord willing, that was edifying to the elect. Fearful headlines. If the Spirit wills, then whenever I get, maybe tomorrow, whenever it is, the Spirit is on me. I'll try to continue in it, just bringing out different articles and different headlines, that are showing you what is actually going on in the world and what direction things are headed in. Okay. So with that, I hope you were edified. In closing, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakah Kodesh. Until next time, Shalom.